All right, so for reflecting today, I mean, just so you know where this came from, right? Why is Woody smiling like a maniac, talking about this, etc., etc.? I am still struggling with something, and it is called outside sanction. And this is something you struggle with too, and we all struggle with it, but I'm like questioning it. And so this is like something I haven't defeated yet, but I'm like on its trail, and I'm like watching it, like, my brain is doing something that doesn't make sense. Let me stay on top of this thing. And it's called outside sanction, meaning you want outside sanction for your actions. And this is a really fascinating point of reflection because my whole life I've been a words of affirmation person. Again, just random book sitting on my desk, 5 Love Languages, Gary Chapman, right? He's all about, people have specific love languages. And mine is words of affirmation. So if I do something that's great, my heart just fills up if somebody says something about it, right? And yet here I am. And at this point in my life, I don't think there's any reason for me to need any kind of love from somebody else to feel amazing love and amazingness inside myself. Like, it's great to interact with each other, but I'm trying to make sure that I can always feel amazing inside myself. And so I'm at this point where I'm still craving external validation, and to me, I'm not buying that story. I don't think I need that, right? I'm still craving it, right? I crave people to comment on my videos. I crave my wife to say good things about me. I crave people to understand what I'm saying, right? I crave these things, but I'm not buying it. Like, I'm not buying why I would need to crave those things, why I would need those things, okay? And so for someone who's always been a love languages person, who's always been a words of affirmation person, right? Why am I suddenly so down on getting words of affirmation? Not that I don't want them, I still do enjoy them, but why would somebody else thinking about me make a difference to me? Again, it just all comes back to my central thought of how can I let my mind or emotions be affected by anybody else? It's not possible. So obviously I have created some system in my head that says somebody needs to say nice things about me. And if you look at this, if you look at TV, the world, everything in life, so many people are having this issue. They're having this issue that they create in themselves where they want external validation from somebody else, right? Like, I literally see this everywhere. Yesterday, right, what did I want? I don't know. There were things I wanted where I was just like, I just want somebody to say they get this, right? Or I just wanted my wife to say, I understand you feel tired today, and she didn't say that, and then I got mad, right? And I podcast about that all the time. And, she said, well, Woody, like, what if, should I take this medicine today or that medicine? And I'm like, I don't want to sanction, like, which medicine you take. Take the best medicine for you. And, then people on TV, like on Grey's Anatomy, right? Like, Izzy Stevens is having a surgery and she's like, tell me what to do, Alex. And Alex is like, no, like, I can't tell you. And everybody, whenever they have a surgery on that show between the main characters, they're like, somebody tell me what to do. No, I can't tell you, blah, blah, blah. They always end up having the surgery because it's a surgery show. But they pretend to decide about whether they're going to have a surgery or not, right? But anyway, all this stuff, like all this external sanction is really one of the things that's killing the human spirit in the world. And so that's what I'm in here broadcasting to you, digging to you, showing you that, is that like external validation is killing you, asking for it, wanting somebody to sanction what you're doing. Because you hold the laws of physics of yourself in your hand. You know exactly who you are and what you're about. And so you can't possibly depend on external validation for that. That doesn't make any sense, right? That's like ridiculous. You can't depend on external validation for who you are, right? You have like not a little bit more data about yourself, but tons more, exponentially more. That's the thing I think people don't understand. They think, oh, I'll give somebody advice because they may know more about themselves, but I know a little bit more about the situation. Or, I may give somebody advice because I'm smarter, or, maybe I should listen to somebody's advice because they're wiser, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, sure, you can learn from other people. You can take their advice. But the thing I'm learning is it's not like I have twice as much information about what I should do as, let's say, my parents. I have about, 10,000 times as much information, 1,000,000 times as much, right? Because inside yourself, right, you have so many neurons, so many things that are all wired exactly to you, exactly to your situations, exactly to everything you've been through, and you're conscious of all of them at all times, where somebody else barely has a vague outline. There's this book, The Untethered Soul, and one of the things Michael Singer talks about, which I think is pretty cool, is Michael talks about the voice in your head and like about how you can unconsciously observe so much more than consciously. So let's say you're in a room, right? And you look around the room. Now observe everything that's in this room, right? On one of my videos earlier, I showed you my closet was a mess. And so look at that closet, right? It's, you can't see it, but I'm looking and see all the things in there. But now try to consciously describe all the things you see in a busy room. It would take you forever to consciously describe and say, oh, there's a Blue Apron box with a label and it says we're building a better food system from scratch. And then there's some paper company box holding some newspapers that says Boise. And there's some Snoopy characters in a drawer, and the Snoopy has a black ear. You see what I'm saying? It takes so long to explain this stuff, right? It takes so long to explain it. And so what's my point is that other people who are looking at you only get that conscious looking description view. They just barely get a glimpse of you. Whereas you instantly look and see all of yourself subconsciously and in all of your consciousness, and you have all the data from all the neurons in your whole body. And so most of us think that in some areas there is an expert who knows more than us and could decide better for us. But the truth is that for you, the person who can decide for you is always you, because you have vastly more information on yourself. And so what that means, right, is spend a little time each day getting a little information. You know, I'm not saying you should decide whether it's healthy for you to go outside during COVID. I'm saying spend 2 minutes understanding the guidelines and how the science works, and then boom, you apply it to yourself and sanction all of your own decisions. You don't listen to somebody else. And why is this so important? Well, also because in the world with so many people, 2 people are going to say the opposite thing, right? Even about COVID, right? One doctor is going to say you're safe to go here. Another doctor is going to say you're safe to go there. One doctor is going to say the vaccine will be out in this time. Another is going to say that time, right? You know, one politician is going to say this. One politician is going to say that, right? And so everybody's going to do different things, and you're always going to feel torn apart on the inside if you listen to somebody else for sanction, if you go to somebody else for sanction. It's completely irrational and destructive, right? But since everybody is doing it, people pretend like there's no other option, but there is. And the other option is to constantly be celebrating yourself. And so that's what I'm working on today, guys. Again, right? I put on a good face on camera, but I'm not always perfect. Okay, in fact, yesterday and this week, right, as I've been working out every day and going live every day and doing all this, right, I've been craving that external validation. I can watch myself craving it. And it's so cool. But I'm not identifying with that. I'm just accepting it, right? It's just a craving. It's just a thing that happens. It's life. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? Nothing wrong with having a little craving. Nothing wrong with being human, having some flaws. You know, I don't have a problem with that. But I would have a problem if I kept thinking it was true, okay? So this is just a pain, right? A craving for external validation, that's just some pain, right? That's welcome to being human. You grew up that way. You learned how to crave external validation. Now you have a craving, right? Just like a drug addiction. You have a craving addiction of external validation. And the way you get rid of it, right, is you do stop yourself, you stop taking more of it, and then you suffer through the pain of withdrawal. And so for me, right, I think one of the reasons that I'm in so much pain every day these days is because I have extraordinarily strong withdrawal symptoms, right? Because I'm withdrawing from needing affirmation from others, right? I'm withdrawing from beating myself up. I'm withdrawing from drama. I'm withdrawing from gossip. I'm withdrawing from beating myself up. I'm withdrawing from so many things, right? From certain foods, from negativity, from news, from all this stuff. And so I'm literally withdrawing my consciousness from things, and it's kind of feels like, you know, I assume it's something similar to withdrawal symptoms of going off of, you know, a prescription drug or a illicit drug or whatever, right? I assume it's similar because it hurts. It really hurts. But you got to understand that withdrawal symptoms are temporary, right? Whereas being addicted is permanent, okay? And so you can stay addicted, right? You can avoid the withdrawal symptoms of giving up your worries, giving up your fears, because you will have withdrawal symptoms. I'm having them. I'm telling you, this week was painful for me. This week was hard for me. This week, I experienced a ton of pain. But you know what I didn't? I didn't really have that much suffering. Even though I was in a ton of pain, and even though it really hurt, I look back on the week and I'm like, oh, I had a great week. I podcasted, I did stuff, and, you know, I'm just proud of myself, right? It worked out all right. And so that's the difference, right? Is that every week you choose to keep suffering and you choose to keep craving external validation and keep craving like external things and results is another week that you cement those patterns and create more suffering. And so it's no wonder why you're worried about your relationships or your family or your friends or your work. It's no wonder you're worried all the time. It's because you're waiting for somebody else to say something about your life, and it's not possible, right? And so, well, sure, you may want to look a little bit at the outside world to see whether what you're doing is working, whether people are picking down what you're putting up or picking up what you're putting down. Yeah, you may need to look at the external world, right? It's not that I don't look and see which things I make help people more and which things are better and stuff, but I know what's right for me. And there's this beauty of happiness when you follow your own judgment too. And I'm starting to experience that, right? I'm starting to experience this beauty of happiness of sanctioning my own things and even my bad things, right? Like, for example, this week, you know, something I would quote unquote consider bad, even though that's just a judgmental word that doesn't mean anything, is I've been playing some video games on my phone. I ordered a new computer that I thought would come this week. It didn't come, and I ordered it so I could stream without lag on all of this content and have great content and have tons of memory on my computer and have a top-notch computer, but also so I could play a little bit of video games on the side, right? Which is something dangerous, a drug-like behavior I deal with and I monitor and frankly, like I still struggle with. Like just transparency, there you go, right? You know, because you've heard me make a podcast about how video games is like drugs. Well, I played a lot this week and on my phone, right? It's so miserable to play on a little phone and it's like a complicated card game, okay? And so anyway, I was struggling with that this week and I don't even remember the point of my story now, but I struggled with that this week. And so I'm just having pain, right? I have my own coping mechanisms. I have challenges, right? But I just don't let it make suffering. I just keep it as pain. It's just like maybe painful and I reach out to some video games or whatever, but then I just let it back go again. And then I'm back here. And so I have just been heavy on the pain of withdrawal, but to me it makes sense, right? It's logical, and that's what getting understanding, right? When I'm always trying to talk about things that are really the laws of physics, right? It's just like a withdrawal symptom from a drug, right? Withdrawal from your mind and all of the fake thoughts you've carried around your whole life is very painful because your mind's not going to stop saying those things, but you will be conscious that it's not true. And so it's just kind of like, right? Like you're off the drugs or whatever, but your body is still freaking the heck out because it still expects the drugs, right? That's what dependence is. Dependence means you need the drug to feel normal. And our minds, right, and our habits, they're all also addictions, right? Everything is like that. Your body is adjusted to everything you do and is in equilibrium there. And so what I'm doing with myself to get so happy is I'm really disrupting that equilibrium. And I'm saying, no, this emotional home I had where I had this much anxiety and depression and some happiness and kind of about a medium amount like most people have, I don't want that. I want to take all the happiness and only have that, right? And it doesn't mean I'm not going to experience sadness and whatever, but I'll always be at peace and always be joyful and always be happy and always be love and like just all of that stuff, right? No gossip, no criticism, no whatever, no negativity, and no waiting on other people to tell me that I'm good enough, right? And so that's my message for today. That's what I'm working on. And even today, I feel so much better sharing this with you, right? I could have easily woken up today and felt miserable all day, right? I felt pretty miserable yesterday, right? I took some NyQuil, in fact, because my allergies and aches in my sinuses were so bad. So I slept a little extra and I could easily have a droopy day today. But instead, I'm really thinking like, man, anytime I'm struggling, I think I need to be better. And so maybe this is the message you need to hear. Is it's not just about doing something different. It's not just like try these things I'm telling you. The truth is the solution is just be better. I'm not big on trying different things and like hoping something works out. I'm big on making myself just so good that I can't fail. And I like to do that in my card games where I like to build a deck that's better than other people's decks and have a better strategy and put in more hours practicing. I do that in school where I study more and check out more books from the library to have a better paper. And so in all the areas of life, right, I just like to go over the top so I'm just better and I know that I'm going to succeed. And it's the same here. Just be better. Just bring more energy, more enthusiasm, more commitment, more excitement, right? All that stuff. And the rest will take care of itself. All the details will take care of themselves, right? I'm so over details. I'm so over what to do, okay? What to do is just use your best judgment. That's always the answer to what to do, okay? And so the thing you can learn from me is not what to do. You have the best judgment. Whatever thing it is you're addressing in your life, you have the best judgment on how to address that. But I can tell you that the way to be is this way, okay? And so that's what I'm trying to get across to you, is that there is a way to be that's far better than what people are doing now. And you can just adopt it, right? And you'll know how to be it for yourself, but you have to open your eyes, right? I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm trying to open your eyes and open your heart so you can actually see that there is a different way to be. And once you see it, I think it'll be pretty self-evident that it's better. And so, think about it. I had what I would consider a very rough week. Sick from allergies, still grinded my body on my workouts, which are going amazingly, by the way, and I'm broadcasting those and putting them up on YouTube. Worked harder on my YouTube channel to get everything up to speed and everything comes up live. Still struggling with social media and other things. Still struggling with the negativity in the world. Just having challenges, like all this stuff happened to me this week, and yet I'm just redoubling my effort and becoming happier and even more grounded and even better, and struggle with video games on my phone, right? And so all this stuff, a lot of challenges this week, and yet I am redoubling my effort. And that's why, a few days ago I talked about resiliency. It's all about I get knocked down, but I get up again. So play your tub thumping song by Chumbawamba. I get knocked down, but I get up again. And then just get up every morning and do it from the beginning. And then you'll fall off the wagon again every day. And then get up again. And then fall off again. And then get up again. And then fall off again. That's what life is about. The resiliency is the beautiful part. What do you do every day, right? Think about life. Every day you have to go to sleep because you're toast for the day. Your body knows it needs to sleep, and then you get back up again. So literally, this is not some metaphor I'm using. This is not some song I'm saying. This is the physics of life, right? Every single day you get knocked down on your bed because your body needs to rest. And guess what? Today, if you're listening to this, you got back up again. That's not a gift that everybody gets. That's not a gift that everybody has. Some people didn't get back up again today. And so I hope you're enjoying the time that you got back up again. I hope you're actually cherishing it and actually putting it to good use. Guys, happy Father's Day weekend. We'll talk about Father's Day tomorrow some more. And I'm going to move on to the podcast where we're going to talk a little more nuanced, a little more intellectually about all of this, guys. So see you soon.